A new deal with the International Monetary Fund (IMF), containing public expenditure, tax and pension reforms. Those are just some of the elements of government's 2013-2014 strategic priority of a fiscal prudence and the pursuit of a credible economic program. It's priority number 1. Government is on a mission to ensure that stakeholders are being financially responsible as it embarks on a program to reform the Jamaican economy. Having secured a $958 million extended fund facility with the IMF and received the first tranche of $200 million, government will be seizing the opportunities to propel its growth agenda.
Higher than programmed levels of growth would enable us to overshoot the targets for debt reduction, and indeed would bolster the mood and the capacities of what I dare say is a demoralized and doubtful populace about the possibilities of growth itself.
A number of programs will help to rev up the economy. The North-South link for Highway 2000, the upcoming logistics hub, diversification of our tourism markets including upgraded hotel and infrastructure, and the Agro-Parks project are critical elements of the government's growth agenda. Meanwhile, the administration and private sector interests have been keenly monitoring the implementation of the IMF agreement. President and CEO of Sagicor Life, Richard Biles, and Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter are co-chairing the IMF Program Monitoring Committee.
Progress towards the goals will be reported to the Cabinet with the same regularity so that all sections of the administration remain conversant with the state of implementation and their responsibilities in the process.
Containing public expenditure is also a major goal of the government as it puts strategic priority 1 into action. Already, the expenditure budget for 2013-2014 is roughly $81 billion less than that of the last financial year. The majority of public sector groups have also agreed to forego a salary increase until 2015 while receiving certain benefits like increased opportunities for training. Several mergers will also help reduce cost and promote efficiency. No new taxes were announced by the Finance Minister when he opened the budget debate on April 18. So as part of the fiscal responsibility regime, the goal is to encourage a culture of tax compliance. Upcoming changes are expected to bolster that goal.
It will involve legislative changes and greater powers for the tax authorities to go after the taxes due from and secure it from the persons from whom those taxes are due.
Tax Administration Jamaica will continue developing measures to make it easier for taxes to be paid and collected. Steps to eliminate the power of the Finance Minister to grant discretionary waivers are also far advanced. The Senate has passed a bill to harmonize the various tax statutes and provide standard definitions for the terms approved charitable organization and charitable purposes for tax use. The bill, called the Charitable Organization Tax Harmonization Miscellaneous Provisions Act 2013, amends the Customs, General Consumption, Income Tax, Property Tax, Stamp Duty, and the Transfer Tax Acts.
A shared concern has emerged between the Government of Jamaica and the multilaterals that the current regime with regard to tax treatment of charitable organizations allows for significant revenue loss by way of tax expenditures.
The provisions in the Act will be incorporated into the proposed Charities Act, which is now with the Office of the Chief Parliamentary Counsel for drafting and will be brought to both Houses of Parliament in September. As the government focuses on being financially responsible, it's convinced that privatizing some key state entities will improve public service and make the state more financially secure. Enterprise teams have already been established for the Kingston Container Terminal, the Norman Manley Airport, the Jamaica Railway Corporation, and Caymanis Limited. The divestment of the Wallingford Coffee Company is also well underway.
When completed, this will result in savings of over $200 million a year for the government of Jamaica.
The divestment of Clarendon Alumina Partners CAP is still on the books. Until then, supply contracts for CAP will be modified to ensure that the entity does not rack up additional costs on the budget. Discussions also continue on pension reform to ensure that pension payments are affordable for both the government and the pensioner. Fiscal prudence and the pursuit of a credible economic program, strategic priority 1 for the government. By being financially responsible while embarking on a realistic economic program, it is pushing for Jamaica to become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.